If you love to travel and you love to hike, then why not combine the two? And in today's video, I'm going to share 15 of the best hikes that I've done that you can build an entire trip around, so that you're not just on the trail, but that you're experiencing the cultures and the foods and having an all-round fantastic adventure in different parts of the world. My name is Paddy Doyle, and I've been lucky enough to do over 15 incredible hikes all around the world, and I was able to build a fantastic trip around the hike to maximize my experience and to make the most out of my travels. I'm going to order these hikes in difficulty. So we'll start off easy, half day or 1 day hikes. And then at the end, we'll start getting more and more challenging to multiple day hikes that'll need a lot of training and experience, but are still absolutely fantastic and will open your eyes to some of the most beautiful landscapes on this planet. All right, let's begin. There's a lot of information in this video, but in the description, I will go into way more detail. So whichever hike picks your fancy, all of the information will be linked below. Hike number 1, Hua Hin Cave Temple, Phra Nakhon in Thailand. Now, Thailand is my favorite country in the world, but it's not really known for hiking, but there are some beautiful day hikes, and this is one of them. It's a short but sweaty climb to a royal pavilion, and it glows in the sunbeams, and you can pair it with beaches and eat delicious seafood in the nearby area. You can actually hike up and over to the beginning of the trail, which is a cool coastal trail itself, or you can get on a little boat and go around to the beginning of the trail, which is actually on a beautiful beach. And then there are a few short steps up into the cave. It will be hot and it will be sweaty, but you will be rewarded with something truly magical and a place that hardly any tourists here in Thailand will visit. And I think with the difficulty rating of only 2 out of 5, this is easily done, but you will need a little bit of fitness to get up those hot, sweaty steps. This can be a great long weekend away from Bangkok if you're visiting Thailand and you want to get out of the big city, because in this region are beautiful beaches, lots of delicious seafood, and loads of things to see and do, because it's near a city called Hua Hin, which is a fantastic base for adventures just like this. Of course, it's Thailand, so it's going to be very hot and it's going to be very humid, and there is quite a few steps involved, but the views and the memories and the photographs that you can take are out of this world. Go as early as you can to avoid the brutal midday sun. Hike number 2 is in Switzerland, and we're going to Ashinnasee Lake. This is a postcard perfect alpine lake that you can reach in just a couple of hours. Now, this hike is only 2 out of 5 in difficulty, because there is a cable car that goes up to the plateau where the lake is, and then the hike is a simple return and back hike around the lake. However, there are variants that go higher and steeper to get you more views. There are a few refugios that are a bit more tricky to reach, but yeah, it's reasonably easy, and the entire hike is just littered with unbelievable views. You know, the turquoise lake is completely surrounded by jagged peaks and glaciers, and there are so many quaint alpine villages nearby that you can get delicious Swiss food and just incredible views. There are trains to go to other areas like Zermatt, Interlaken and Grindelwald. You can build an entire trip around just this one incredible half-day hike to the beautiful lake here in Switzerland. Just remember, weather can change pretty quickly, so make sure to bring a rain jacket, an umbrella, or something to stay warm in case the weather changes, which it can do on a dime, especially in the summer in Switzerland. Hike number 3 is having an adventure in the caves of Phong Nha in Vietnam. We're going to be stepping into another world on this hike. This is one of the most unique experiences you'll do, and you could argue it's not really a traditional hike, but wow, what an adventure I had. I'm giving it a difficulty rating of 2 out of 5 because anybody can really do this. You do need a little bit of confidence around water, because you will need to swim from cave to cave sometimes if it's high levels of rain. And so instead of hiking from cave to cave, sometimes you actually need to swim, but they do give you life jackets and things like that, so it's absolutely fine. The company I used is called Aluxis, and they actually do loads of different hikes in multiple days, or just a half day or a full day, so check out the website in the description below. But I did a multiple day hike where we actually camped at different caves, and then we hiked or swam or got on bamboo rafts to go from cave to cave. It was a real adventure. It's a bit of a hybrid. It's a hike, it's a caving experience, and it's a swimming experience. It's just a proper nature adventure. You'll have fantastic guides that will take you through the jungle and into the vast cave systems, including the world's biggest cave, which was recently discovered that this company will do multiple day hikes in. But that one is very expensive and comes with a long waiting list. But check it out in the description. And it's so easy to combine this adventure with so many other great things about Vietnam. You can go on a motorcycle tour, you can go on a street food adventure in Hanoi, you could go to Halong Bay, you could do the Hai Giang Loop, go up to Sapa. The opportunities to have an adventure in northern Vietnam is completely endless. Number 4 is Mount Batur in Bali, Indonesia. I'm giving this one 3 out of 5 for difficulty because it is quite steep and you will need a reasonable level of fitness to get up and get down, but what an incredible view you'll have. A lot of people go up for sunrise, however I went up for sunset and I just went on my own, but I did end up having to get a guide at the nature park entrance, which was a good thing as well because I got to share the experience and I got shown where to go and where not to go because it can be quite dangerous up there. It is a volcano after all and things can change quite quickly up there. It's definitely 2 or 3 hours of steep volcanic ash trails, but the views are incredible and coming down it will be quite dusty. You will definitely ruin your trainers, so make sure you've got some decent hiking boots for this one. And of course it's in Bali, so there's beaches, temples, rice terraces, and all of the things that people have come to love about Bali as a travel destination. There are more advanced hikes on Bali, but this one I think is the perfect entry level. It's a half-day tour, either at sunrise or at sunset. You'll have a fantastic time either way, hopefully, and pray for good weather. I just want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you're thinking this is perfect to share with your hiking friends, your travel buddies, then share it right now. Just chuck it in the WhatsApp group, chuck it in the Facebook message to some of your travel buddies, to some of your hiking friends, and you can get really excited about building a trip around a beautiful hike like this. Hike number 5, we're going back to Thailand, and this time we're going to Sukhothai. Khao Luang is a beautiful national park and there is a fantastic hike. It's a 1-day hike, but there is camping up at the top. So you can go up and down in 1 day and then drive back to your hotel, but that would make it quite difficult. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5. It's a hot, sweaty jungle hike up a mountain, but the views at the top are some of the best I've ever seen hiking in Thailand. And before or after your hike, you could combine this by exploring Sukhothai's ancient temples and ancient ruins. This used to be one of the old capitals of Thailand, and the entire region of Sukhothai is a beautiful and undiscovered part of Thailand and only a few hours away from Chiang Mai. And again, this is where people don't really go, and they should, because it is a completely beautiful hidden gem here in Thailand. Hike number 6, we're hiking Halasan Volcano on the beautiful island of Jeju in South Korea. I recently went to Jeju with my girlfriend and there was a beautiful volcano staring at us the entire time through the window, and I had to go up there and have a hike, and it turned out to be South Korea's highest mountain. I had no idea that this random island in the middle of the ocean is home to not just fantastic food, fantastic people, and loads to see and do, hence why you should build a trip to Jeju and include this hike as an activity. But this mountain with snow on the top was absolutely a breeze to climb, and that's why it's only getting a difficulty rating of 3 out of 5. Of course, it took me about 4 or 5 hours to go up and down, but it might take some people a bit longer because it is quite steep. There are steps and stairs involved towards the top, and Jeju is such a fantastic destination, so underrated. I can't wait to go back. We rented an Airbnb and spent an entire week there exploring the culture and the food, and it was so beautiful. And this hike was the highlight for me. Hike number 7, we're going to the Knuckles Mountains in Sri Lanka. This is such a beautiful part of the island of Sri Lanka. Remote jungles, terraced fields, and villages lost in time. So many different options. You can do a day hike, you can do a half-day hike, you could do a multiple day hike with a local guide. I'll link all of the information again in the description, and I'm giving it a difficulty rating of 3 out of 5 because there are leeches. There are hundreds of leeches and you will not be able to avoid them. Even with all of the sprays and all of the protective gear, they will get in your pockets, they'll get in your hat, they'll get in your socks, trust me. Okay, but they're harmless. So if you can deal with leeches, if you can deal with hot, humid weather, because this is Sri Lanka, and rain, and all of the things that come with tropical environments, then you will love it, because some of the reviews, building a trip around a fantastic hike like this in Sri Lanka is a breeze. You've got beaches, surfing, mountaineering, exploring the history and the culture and the delicious food of Sri Lanka. This is honestly the perfect little gem island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, built for adventure and has some fantastic hikes in the knuckles. A quick mention to say thank you to Squarespace, the sponsor of this video. Do you need a website for your blog, for your small business, for anything, right? Well, Squarespace is the perfect place to go. So I encourage you to check it out because you can build a website for free, choose one of their award-winning templates, and then just add your own pictures and text and videos or whatever it is that you want to do. And you can start selling products, you can start selling services straight away. Or if that sounds too difficult, right, then there is an AI feature that they have now called Design Intelligence. And then you just tell the AI what your website should look like, who's it for, what you're trying to do with it, and the AI will then build the website for you. And the best part is Squarespace are giving you 10% off your first website or domain. Just go to squarespace.com/Paddy Doyle using the link in the description below. And if you're traveling or hiking a lot, you can still update your website on the go thanks to the incredible Squarespace app. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Enjoy the discount, and let's get back to the list of the most beautiful hikes that you can build a trip around. Hike number 8, we're going to the Dolomites in northern Italy. Towering limestone peaks, breathtaking scenery and landscapes, incredible alpine refugios that serve delicious food so you can stay warm, you can stay cozy, and you can experience the true Italian hospitality whilst you're hiking in what is probably the most beautiful part of the Alps. There's a huge variety of trails. Some of them are really well marked and you can just do it on your own for a half day, maybe a 3 to 6 hour hike. And there's also huts that you can book on websites where you can hike from hut to hut and turn it into a 3 or 4 multiple day hike. And a couple of hours south from the Dolomites is Venice, Lake Garda. Northern Italy is just a fantastic region in general for food, for wine, for hospitality, for coffee, for pizza. You can build the dream trip around visiting the Dolomites, and I have a whole series of videos from the Dolomites. Again, all of this is linked in the description. I only did 4 or 5 hikes in the Dolomites and they were all reasonably easy. You know, cable cars up, walk around, and cable car back down was an easy hike. Some of them were a little bit more difficult to get up and down, but in general, it was reasonably easy. You just need a decent level of fitness. Hike number 9 is the Milford Track in New Zealand. People say this is the finest walk in the world, and I have to say, it really was. Hiking in the incredible fjords and the waterfalls and the rainforest valleys, the Milford Track takes you through the Milford National Park, which is just absolutely outrageously beautiful, and it ends in Milford Sound, one of the most beautiful natural wonders in the world. There are 2 ways to do this. One is very cheap and you pre-book the huts on certain websites, or the other way, and how I did it, was through Ultimate Hikes, a company based in Queenstown. It's not cheap, but my gosh, what an experience I'll never forget in the Milford Track. Not only is it really beautiful, but it's actually quite easy. There's only 1 mountain pass in the 4 days that you hike through the Milford Track, and that one's not really that hard either. It's mostly flat and it's guided with delicious meals, incredible lodges, so every night you've got a warm, cozy bed and a delicious meal. And because the hike begins and ends in Queenstown, you've got so many things to do. It's the capital of adrenaline-fueled sports, and there's skiing in the winter, there's hiking, there's all kinds of crazy things that I got up to in Queenstown. So you can build an entire trip around going to the south of New Zealand, doing the Milford Track, having loads of fun and adventures, and drinking delicious local wines. So easy to build a trip around. Hike number 10, we're going to Mount Apo in the Philippines. Climbing to the rooftop, the highest point of the Philippines, will be quite difficult, but you will be rewarded with a fantastic adventure. This difficulty rating is the first 4 out of 5 because it is very steep, it's difficult, it's hot, it's sweaty, and it's also quite cold once you get towards the summit, and you'll be up there for a day, so you'll have to pack a fleece and a jacket and a hat and some gloves because it can get quite nippy up there. After all, it is 4,000 meters at the summit. Now, this is an active volcano, so one of the highlights is in the morning you wake up early, and as you're scrambling over sulfuric rocks with sulfur gas coming out, the sun rises in the east and it just looks unbelievable. And then you get up to the top and it's just a fantastic feeling, quite windy, quite chilly up there. But it is difficult and it is extremely humid and hot, so just prepare for all types of weather. But the Philippines as well, right? You can build a trip around this hike, because from Mount Apo, you could go to El Nido and do the diving, you could go see the whale sharks, you could go to Manila, you could do all of the things that the Philippines is famous for. Turquoise waters, fantastic white sand beaches and islands. If you've always wanted to go to the Philippines, but you were looking for a real adventurous hike to squeeze in, check out Mount Apo. Hike number 11, we are crossing Madeira in Portugal. This one is not for the faint-hearted. It will take you the best part of 5 to 7 days to hike across Madeira, depending on your fitness levels. In fact, I think it took us 7 or 8. But my gosh, what an island Madeira is, and to hike across it was nothing short of a joy. It's a subtropical island, so there will be lots of rain, there will be lots of sun, and you'll be able to hike across the levadas, hike extremely difficult but scenic cliff areas, and of course there are loads of volcanic ridges and loads of adventures to be had along your way, hiking from one side of Madeira to the other. Of course, you can do a half-day hike, a full-day hike, or just do 2 or 3 days of the Madeira cross-country hike, but we decided to do the whole thing, me and my friend Joe who lives there, and I'll link the whole hike in the description for you. What an adventure that was. Madeira is one of the adventure capitals of Europe, and it's up and coming, and there's so much more to Madeira than just getting off the cruise ship and walking around Funchal. And walking across it, hiking across Madeira, is the best way to see the island. Hike number 12 is the W Trek in Patagonia, Chile. This was one of the highlights of my hiking career, if you want to call it, but the W Trek was 3 days of fantastic landscapes, jagged peaks, incredible glaciers, turquoise lakes that are just at the end of the world, it feels like. The Torres del Paine National Park is just one of the shining lights of the natural world. You hike from hut to hut, either across 4 or 5 days, depending on which tour you book. And this one again books up weeks or months in advance. It's got a high demand because it's Patagonia, it's very famous. And yeah, just lots of challenges, logistically, mentally, physically. So I'm giving it a difficulty rating of 4 out of 5. But if you're really experienced and you've hiked a lot, you'll probably find it a lot easier than 4 out of 5, to be honest. And the region of Patagonia, both in Chile and Argentina, is such a beautiful place. So many things to see, glaciers, of course, traditional Argentinian food, Chilean food. The culture in South America is completely unique, and the W Trek was the best hike of many hikes that I did in the Patagonia region by far. Hike 13 is the Maclehoosh Trail in Hong Kong. It's exactly 100 kilometers, this trail, and it loops through and around the wilderness of Hong Kong, and it is just truly unique. And I'm giving it a difficulty rating of 4 out of 5, but at times it will feel 5 out of 5 because it's just up and down and up and down every day. And I struggled with the weather, and it's one of those hikes where you'll have to take all of your food and your camping equipment with you because there are very seldom places to resupply. And so I was constantly just filtering my own water and eating rehydrated food. And after 3 days, I lost so much weight because it was so difficult. And it was so hot, and it rained the whole time whenever it wasn't boiling hot. It was a real challenge, but this is one of the most unique and well signposted hikes that you'll ever do. And when you finish, or before you even get on the trail, you're in Hong Kong. So there's a huge city with incredible food, history, and so much to see and do. Hong Kong is such an attack on the senses with its neon lights and its hot, spicy beef noodle soups. What could be better than going to one of the most futuristic, wonderful cities in the world, and then just for 4 days getting completely lost on the Maclehoosh Trail? Of course, I'll link the hike in the description so you can get more information. It was one of the highlights of my entire life. When I finished, the sense of accomplishment was the biggest I've ever had after any hike. Hike number 14 is the Tour du Mont Blanc in France, Italy, and Switzerland. I just finished this hike, and it was 9 days of breathtaking landscape and just the most incredible experience, but it was so difficult, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything. I was challenged from every corner, so I'm giving it a difficulty rating of 4 out of 5. When everything was said and done, my hike was 183 kilometers. So this is the longest hike I've ever done, but it was split across 9 days, and I had my accommodation booked every night. So I was having a cozy dorm bed, 3-course meal every night, and a breakfast served for me. I think I paid just over 1,000 euros for my accommodation and dinner and breakfast. Not everybody stays in refugios and pre-books everything ahead. Some people take their equipment with them and camp in their tents every night. That's a whole different challenge, but for me, just hiking from Refugio to Refugio was the biggest challenge in itself. And thankfully, the entire time you're doing the TMB, you are rewarded with the most beautiful views you'll ever see. Honestly, it was relentless how many days in a row, session after session, turn after turn, the TMB just never stopped. You'll need extreme endurance and fitness before you do this, and for those who don't have it, don't worry too much. You can cheat, you can get a bus from one town to another, you can take a cable car up to a certain section, but overall, even if you are cheating and taking shortcuts, it's still a mammoth of a task physically to get across the TMB. And of course, you've got Chamonix as the start and end point, basically, a fantastic town in the French Alps. You've got the Swiss Alps, the Italian Alps, all around you. You'll be hiking through 3 different countries, so easy to build a trip around the TMB. Hike number 15 is Mount Kinabalu in Borneo, Malaysia. This was the hardest hike I've ever done, and I think it's mainly because I completely underestimated it. But you're going from basically sea level to 4,000 meters in one day, and then you sleep and you come back down. So absolutely brutal on the knees, and no amount of training or endurance will prepare you for just how hard this is. So why should you do it? Well, you go into Borneo, so it's really easy to build a trip around. There are beaches and islands, and there are so many incredible natural wonders, and of course you've got orangutans, and you've got pygmy elephants, and you've got all kinds of amazing nature, wildlife. I mean, it's Borneo, right? It's famous for this. But here is the tallest mountain in Malaysia, the tallest mountain on the island of Borneo, Kinabalu itself, and it's really imposing. And you know, at the top they also have via ferrata, so you can do all this crazy abseiling and, you know, really make it technical at the top if you want to. I booked to do that, but the summit took it out of me, and I was a bit late reaching the summit because it was so difficult and I was struggling with altitude issues. My heart was pounding out of its chest, and I struggled just to get to the top. And once I did, and I took a photograph, I just remember thinking, that was really hard, and then I had to go down. So that was the hardest hike, but would I do it again? No. Was it a physical feat of accomplishment I'll never forget? Yes. Did I love my trip to Borneo? Yeah, it was good. So it's on the list, but it's the hardest hike, so just don't underestimate Kinabalu, okay? It's a beast. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to share it with your hiking friends, share it with your travel buddies, get inspired, get motivated, and let me know in the comments, what hikes have I missed? What's a hidden gem that I can check out? Try to keep it around the 3 or 4 difficulty rating. I don't want something too easy, but I don't want to do something really hard like Kinabalu again. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the channel. And if you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your travel buddies.